y'all all know the routine. Let me go ahead and get everything started on this side. Okay, I need my thumbnail. Where's my there it is. Okay, where is, there it is, Stanley Parable. Alright. Done. I'm gonna see if they have the Stanley Parable Part 2 on the listings of tags, because if it's saying Stanley Parable Part 2, then there should be a Part 2 in this. Okay. The Stanley... Oh, spelled it wrong. The Stanley... yes. How's it going, Professor X? Don't know if it was too close or too far away. Wait, why isn't it? Stanley Parable. No, they only have part 1. Huh. It's interesting. Cool. Glad you're having a great day, sir. Alright, everything should be good on this side. And go back to the stream. I need live chat. Go ahead and drop that like while I'm at it. And okay. So yeah, cool. Glad you're having a good day, Professor X. Hopefully it wasn't too chaotic. By the way, hello everybody. Welcome to everybody's favorite shadow band channel. This is Nick. Today for me was pretty good. Just pretty much getting the final stuff done for my trip to Fort Worth next week. I gotta go visit some family that I haven't seen in decades, so I'm kind of excited about that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I was gonna do some other stuff, but Karen decided she was gonna come lay down next to me while I was reading my Bible. By the way, I read 2 Corinthians 5 through 9. If you want my breakdown of that, go ahead and go to Discord under Bible Time, and you'll get my breakdowns of those chapters. Anyway, but yeah, got done with that, started watching the biblical news like I normally do and whatnot, and then, yeah, I fell asleep, because, you know, she's just so cute! She had her hand on my chest, it's so cute. She's so happy whenever I have my days off, so she can spend time with me. Anyway, besides the point. So depending on viewership on this tonight, I might have to switch out games because the viewership for the Stanley Parable is very low. But I'm going to try to finish as much as possible. For the newish game next time, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm kind of searching right now. I might do a couple of rounds of Marvel Rivals just because it's the newest game, but I would like to do just like one-person games, but if I have to go into the multiplayer realm, so be it. Yeah. Oh, no, wait. I'm not moving on to the Marvel Rivals. I forgot. I'm going back to freaking Night City as a city kid. A male city kid. And we're going to go do the timeline on that timeline, the playthrough on that one, and then I'm going to change it to another newish game after that's done, and then go into Nomad, so... That's the plan. I forgot about that. Wow, wake up, Nick. Then for retro, since Final Fantasy VII is bombing, I don't know why, being the epic game that it is, I don't know what I'm going to do for retro. I might do Bulletstorm, because I haven't played that game in a while, and it's an old enough game to be called a retro game. So, that's my plans. Yeah. Alright, it's almost 7 o'clock. Time to get started. I usually do these 5-minute buffer points just so people can log on and all that good shenanigans. If y'all wonder why it takes so long to start the game. 5-minute bumper. Alright.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
I need to start
And
marking.
then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he
Had to pause it real quick, so I have a favor to ask all y'all. I'm gonna start doing one short clip for every video I do. So if you find an epic moment during my playthrough, leave a timestamp in the Discord so I can make a short of it. I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened.
I sent you something. Don't let her win, I guess.
Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked,
Checking it right now.
frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Alright, let's see what this is all about. Alright, let's see. I'm sorry. I felt like you had. Blah. That's my answer. Blah. Blah, 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 blah. Noise, noise, noise. I mean, as a Christian, I will openly say it on this Discord, you can forgive people for things they've done or whatnot, but you don't really want to forget because, if there's a constant habit of somebody doing something, they're going to continuously keep doing it until they make a conscious effort of changing.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Gotta grab the bucket.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Alright, I'm gonna follow every instruction this time, see what happens.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest.
This narrative is great, by the way.
Right. I totally agree with you, sir. Alright. So I went through the right door like he told me to.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Okay. Because last time I broke the game for not following all the
Coming to a
directions.
staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation. You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
It's like earning trophies, man. This game is so meta. It's fucking hilarious.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty,
There is a trophy that takes 8 years to have.
the bucket is here for you.
What?
It's
There-
a joke, but it's real.
There is a trophy that takes
It's
you 8.
ridiculous.
What's it do? What? Okay, as I'm moving forward, please explain this 8-year freaking trophy. That's correct. Well, I mean, theoretically, that would make sense because the original game did come out in 2012. The game taught me this, by the way. Last stream, it went through the whole. You were there anyway. So yeah, that would make sense because I mean, the game's almost like 15 years old. So yeah.
Stanley, everything
But the Stanley Parable is only 2 years old.
Like you have to not play the game for 8 years.
What?
will be fine.
Which is a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot. Oh, can you cheat? Can you put your internal clock on your your PlayStation and make it seem like 12 years? I mean 8 years. Retrieve the trophy and then turn it back into 2025, or will it notice that you did that?
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold?
Stanley is a smart
Stanley and the
game.
bucket both wondered to themselves.
Yeah, that it is. I can give you that. You really can't trick it. Whoever programmed it was pretty based. Okay, just making sure.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in
Jump outside.
Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like
Jump.
guinea pigs. The bucket had
I
never
can't
seen
jump.
anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring
faced
it
with
that
tears of
everything
joy.
would be fine.
Oh wait, there we go. No. Damn, it won't let me. That's gonna be like the new thing for
Let's
this.
go in the chair and desk.
Yes, go to the chair and desk. Okay. Oh. Oh. Ah. Damn it. It won't let me. I mean, I'm trying to pour core and everything. Is this a trick? Anyway, yeah, it won't let me.
Yes, you can. Go on, dot the box. Oh shit.
Yeah, it won't let me. Maybe this box?
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. We learned together.
Was the bucket under the mind control
I
facilities
did it, I don't
influence as
remember
well?
how.
Had the bucket been told to do
It's all good.
things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a
Is it
bucket
because I have
want
the
to do
Maybe it's because I have the bucket.
or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Because, you know, I do have the support bucket. There is that thing. Hold on. Okay. Make sure that screen was refreshed. Am I putting out HD quality? Yes, I should be putting out HD. Okay. Just want to make sure.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way. The bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Okay, so I guess I gotta go through here. I was gonna try to see if I can go up those stairs, but it won't let me. Oh, the jumping circle. Wait. Oh, here we go. Maybe that's the jumping circle. Nope. Okay. Because usually that's what that means. Is the jumping circle? Is the jumping circle, right? Ah, whatever.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True,
What?
it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support. What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms.
Stanley,
Not while this building
go
has
on,
anything to say
dot the
about
box.
it. Stanley realized
shit.
he would never again
Sorry.
leave this very room.
I
But
did
at
it, I
least,
don't remember
at least
how.
he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so
Okay,
bad,
that was weird.
Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Why did it repeat all your comments? That was weird. Tears of joy.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm not doing anything you tell me to do.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Really?
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
All right,
Stanley
I'm gonna
simply
make
stood
you
here,
try cool
drinking
things.
it all in. But eager to get back to
Alright,
business,
it's gonna make you
Stanley
do
took
cool
the
things.
first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Have you jumped on the cargo?
Yes.
I realize that investing your trust in someone
That's
else
actually what I'm
can
about
be
to do.
difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you forgot. What? Really?
Out of
I
it.
was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
I wonder,
My fault.
how do I... I already did that too. It pretty much just says
To
you're
the
dead.
ground.
How do I swipe? I know this guy... Oh. Oh, what's that? It's to get one to thingies. Damn it. Okay, so I need to try to figure out a way to go there so I can get that. Oh.
Ya go there, restart.
Yeah. Give me a second. I know how to really make this freaking thing pissed off at
Now
me.
listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier
You are done
if
now,
we
he
just
tricked you.
stopped. And I think I have a solution.
Yeah, he did.
Here, let me
I've
show
been-
you.
I've been through this already. Yeah. And then it's gonna be the light room he wants me to stand in, and then it's never gonna end.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes.
Hello.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Hey,
No, wait.
Emily!
Where
Been
you
a
going?
while. How we doing, ma'am?
Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
No, we
Please,
won't.
no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
You're a liar and a
Please, Stanley.
thief. Yeah.
Oh, thank God you lived. No, what are you doing, Stanley?
Thanks.
Please, I'm asking you
What's
not to
this?
take this away from me.
Uh,
I can't go
it
back to
is
what I
the
was
Stanley
before.
Parable.
If you die, we'll both go
Well,
back.
Stanley
Why are
Parable
you doing
Part 2.
this?
It's long. It's long to understand. You'll have to watch the last freaking stream to know what's
Stanley,
really going
Let's
on.
go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
There's so much lore that's
My
happened
God.
since this.
Is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You were literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
So I'm gonna have to restart. So I gotta try to figure out a way to get to that.
Man, that guy winds a pot.
Oh, you're just getting
Is it over? Going
you're
to
just getting
restart,
started.
isn't it?
The narrator's
going back.
It's
interesting.
a great game about narrator dictating you and you choosing to obey him or not.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Poor narrator.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
I don't need
Perhaps
that
he had
bucket.
simply missed a memo.
Okay, we need to try to figure out
When
how to
Stanley
get to
came
that
to a set of
area.
2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I need to try to figure out how to get to that area to get to that bucket part. Maybe if I follow directions and then don't follow directions.
All right.
Oh, I went through the left door. Damn it. Sorry.
Looks like liminal space 2. Too late.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah, it's very liminal spacey.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This,
Yay!
there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley
Mini
figs.
stands.
What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like
Stanlerines.
that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Liminal space? Yeah, the back rooms were inspired by
But
the
Stanley
office with
just
yellow
couldn't do
color.
it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All
Damn it.
because he believed everyone had vanished? His
It's
boss would think he was
repeating.
crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical
Who
sense.
did that?
And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example,
Y'all gotta
why
watch or
couldn't he
play
see
a
his
little liminal
feet
core.
when he looked
Super
down?
creep.
Why did doors
ending.
close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter,
Yeah, I
these
did
rooms
this
were
ending
starting to
already.
look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating?
But being that it's a Stanley Parable 2, maybe it's different? Oh.
No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he
Superliminal is
came to the
better.
conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the
Restart
words
the
for it.
game.
I'm dreaming, he yelled.
It's the same.
This is all a dream.
I know. But it'll
Oh,
reset itself.
What a relief Stanley
Hopefully.
felt to have finally found an answer.
I'll check
An
it out.
explanation.
Hold on. Okay. Start the game again. Alright. Okay, I need to go
All of
to
his
the
co-workers were
right.
gone.
Superliminal
mean?
asterisk.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay.
When
So we're
Stanley
going to
came
the
to a
right
set
door,
of 2
correct?
open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright, now ride and drop on wood planks.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. But eager to get back
Don't
to
jump
business,
too far.
Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I want to know what are these key card things. So where's the key card? Okay, let me figure out how I'm gonna fall first. Okay, you said don't jump too far.
On the plank. Not on cargo.
Oh wait.
No go back.
Like that?
On this, yeah.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley?
Finglies.
What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1?
Now go invent.
I'm sure it will come to me.
Alright. Just gotta be careful not to fall. Okay. Whoa, this is new. Okay.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it
Let's
seemed
do.
the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun.
Do this with the bucket next.
That it seemed the office
Do
had
this with
begun.
the bucket next?
So far
Alright.
off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path. You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must
Man, the plot
absolutely
twist is
bolt
great
off the
here.
couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
Alright.
The
Mr.
confusion
Bucket.
and the chaos all seemed to melt away. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply
This
the place
changed.
to be. And here it
Yes,
was.
yes, it
Had the
did.
bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back
Wait,
to the
you
meeting
didn't realize the entrance changed.
Yes, I did.
said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is day number 295, tape number...
This is one of the best ending.
I don't even know. I've lost track.
Felt the bucket calling to him. He had to go number 2.
The
Good
longer
one, Emily.
I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up.
Score.
No matter how many times I've done it, it's always
Okay,
the
Hen.
same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down
Happiness and tears of joy.
doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms.
It's named
Why
narrator look.
everything feels so...
Ah,
What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket.
Wow.
But I have
very
to be careful.
strange.
Because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
It's the bucket!
Camporata.
I was in the bucket. Jeez. Nothing what?
There you go. That's this whole game is weird, Emily. This whole game is freaking
Emily, there is nothing.
The cake is a lie. There is nothing.
All of
love
his
this
co-workers
creepy
were
ending.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, I can't-
God, yeah.
Spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Trying to
The
think.
bucket needs to be respected.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling
Go
to him,
right.
telling him that
Ha,
the
ha, ha.
employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no.
Now go indoor.
Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
When he tell you to get back. Go down.
Okay, I thought so. I just want to make sure.
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
This is new. This was
You
not
see,
the last
your
one.
friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much.
Baby!
You're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not
An
this
intervention.
bucket that they've never seen before.
Why not?
Yes, I know I'm the one who
'Cause
gave
you know.
you the bucket, but you're spending too much time on
Baby!
it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Can't set myself on fire? No. What are you looking at, wife? Damn, I was hoping maybe I can go back there.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Alrighty,
Now
have a good
this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
What?
It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to
Hi,
have to
Emily,
give
you miss
something up.
great stuff.
I'm getting Portal vibes.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
This was a long stairs.
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess
I don't
what
want
the
to get
Bucket
rid of
Destroyer
Bucket.
does?
No.
Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you.
No.
Go ahead now, Stanley.
No.
Say goodbye to the bucket.
No.
And then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
No. 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 I don't want to get rid of the bucket.
Now
No.
listen to me. It's
No.
crucial that you give it the bucket.
No.
I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it
No.
can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait.
MIT.
No.
I can hear you saying, how does a character with only
Oh,
one
shit.
personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of
Okay.
Stanley
Smiling face
Parable
return,
characters?
smiling
Well, you
face
see,
reform,
if you were to
smiling
really
face
explore
reform.
the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity
let me
and
get rid of
nuance
it.
that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this.
I can't destroy it.
Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want.
I'm
Hurry.
trying to! It wouldn't let me get rid of the bucket.
The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you. Tell
so
such
I was
spellbinding
having a
stories
breakdown for
about
no
you,
reason.
All of its squad.
The bucket is stronger.
Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Bye, Bucket Destroyer. You will be missed. Okay.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone.
See how this game constantly tricks you.
He thought to himself.
Right.
This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I
It's
wanted.
great to troll players.
Yes, it is. This game is this whole game's a troll, but in a good way.
Stanley picked up
Might
the
as well
bucket
grab
and
my
smiled.
bucket.
He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the
Wait,
bucket
do something
pulling to him,
hard.
telling him that the
Wait, do something-
employee lounge was simply the place
Alright,
to be.
after this
And
one.
here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct?
Wait,
Was this
wait for
better
my
than the meeting room?
instructions.
Yes,
I know.
Stanley thought to himself.
Too late now.
Never mind.
Fuck.
The bucket was wrong.
Uh,
Stanley took
I
the
wanna
door
try
on his
something.
left
Give me a
to go
second.
back to the meeting room. And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Go to left.
damn. Well, this is new.
Go, and when you are at office, stop. Hit the stair.
IP to stair?
Asterisk.
Up the stairs. Okay. What about the broom closet? Should I go in the broom closet? Is there a Stanley in the broom closet? Fuck it, I'm going in.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet.
Go in.
It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give
Close the door.
Don't. hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over.
The broom closet has strong manipulate.
A name calling, it seems.
Right.
Is this how low the
And
broom
lots of
closet has
gaslighting.
sunk that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially
Green up is the
enticing manner?
broom closet's
Well,
full
I've never.
face screaming in fear.
Go on, Stanley. Lay into
You are
it.
what I
Really
mean.
tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together.
You
Go
got
through
some
each of them
jokes.
point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Okay. How am I supposed to let them have it?
I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
That's awesome. I got a
All
property
right,
of
I've got a
Stanley.
second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate.
Aight.
Wait until he stops talking
I
G.
feel that it works because the
Aight.
sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever
Ooh.
unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Is that it?
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the
Bucket has
silent
cool
treatment.
skins
And to be
now.
honest, I'm
Mm,
sick
right?
of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it
And I
with this
didn't have to buy any
impetulant room
gems to
of
get it
cleaning
either.
supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've
Customizable
ever
bucket
been in.
lore.
I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
That's all you had, Mr. Narrator? He did tell me to go outside. Alright, I think he's done. Okay, we're going down the
Coming to a
stairs.
staircase,
Or upstairs.
Stanley
No,
and the
we're going
bucket
up,
walked
right?
upstairs to the boss's office.
Yeah, go in, no, go upstairs. Upstairs, okay.
Narrator has lost to the broom closet manipulation.
Yeah, it's all about if you're gonna give in to the freaking...
Up,
Uh,
up.
the amount of gaslighting in this game, bro. What's in here? I want to go in here.
Now stop.
You hear that tinkle noise? What's that tinkle noise? The executive bathroom. Oh! I didn't know if I can go in there.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of
Open
the
the
figure
door.
and marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
Okay. So I just need to try to find the last one because the meeting room did say there is a prize.
Now click mirror.
Oh, mirror, 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 mirror.
Go back.
Okay, I'm clicking the mirror. Nothing. Maybe the painting? No. Maybe the window? No. Maybe the other painting? No.
Maybe it's without bucket.
Maybe. Alright, let's go into this room, see what's going on here.
Okay, wait before going in the boss office.
Yes.
There is a glitch that unlock an ending.
Okay.
It's easy but kinda hard.
Okay, I'm all ears. Gonna guess I.
So try to not go too in the room but a little bit and go back before the door shut.
Okay, so I need to go in a little bit and then run out before the door shut. Oh, I see now. You want to trigger it, but try to. Nah. But I've never been through this door yet. This is actually new. I've never been through here. Okay, I'm gonna try it. Fuck it.
Restart if it doesn't work.
Okay.
Stepping in.
Okay, go to elevator. Let's go. All right, ending new.
Okay, where's the elevator? I'm trying to remember. Okay, go through the right door. And then...
No elevator.
Yeah, I see that.
It will be after come back.
Okay. So... Oh, wait. It's downstairs. Elevator's downstairs.
To the start. Not the office. New. Come back.
Alright, I'm going back.
Not the office, the very start.
Oh. You are now leaving. Is that the elevator you're talking about?
This is interesting.
Uh,
You escape finally. For real.
I don't know, you're kind of like the narrator. Should I believe you?
This is the elevator indeed.
No, it's not letting me use it. Shit.
But can't use it. It's only a thing to remind me. Face with tears of joy, face with tears of
Tears
joy,
of joy,
face
face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy. How many steps do I gotta go up? The launching bay?
Haha, staircase level 100.
Not right. Reminds you of that the SCP. You know, the one where people go down the staircase and it gets all weird.
Oh.
Oh, our bucket.
Look, ha ha ha.
He loves his bucket so much. I guess he has to sacrifice the bucket.
You will miss him.
I will miss him.
He is gone.
Oh.
It will go away.
So I sacrifice the bucket to get free, but I'm trapped because, yeah. I guess my love for the bucket was deep. All right. And you said the bucket will
Someone
be
was
gone.
following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Wait, it will be different. Continue the game.
Alright. But before we do, let's go ahead and take our break time now because something tells me we're going to get deep into some lore. Man, this game's freaking crazy, bruh. There's so much stuff going on all at once.
It's cool ass.
Yeah, it is cool as fuck. How many endings does this game have? I've been through at least like 13 of them so far. No, probably more than that.
There is a lot, so it's not boring too quickly.
Well, the thing I'm enjoying about this game so far is replayability.
It has like 40 plus.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, the replayability is very malleable in this game, and I like that. I like games you can replay and, you know, stuff like that.
Oh, and you can go on desk in the office.
Really? I was not aware of that. We'll try that next time because we're kind of...
Like at the start.
Okay. Remind me so whenever we start, I can try that out. Alright. So I think what I'm going to do is try to get to the office area. And I'm going to go through those double doors.
Look at the window next time.
Look at the window next time? Okay. Because I'm thinking... since I didn't go through those double doors by the manager office last time, I wonder where those doors take me.
Windows at the start.
Well, I can't really go... Oh, I can go back. Okay.
In the first room. Now go on desk. It's the one in the corner next to the door.
This room? not letting me.
No, next to the printer, next to the corridor.
Okay, next to the printer, next to the corridor. Okay. Okay, there's the printer. Next to the corridor. It's not letting
Go
me.
in the corner. Yeah, on that.
Okay.
On the one close to the plant.
Alright. I'm on the desk. What now?
Crouch.
Okay.
Go in window.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes.
Look up.
So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now.
You are
What do
out
you
of
think? Are you
bounds.
sick of this gag yet?
Oh.
Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one
He
of
is
the lucky
getting deep.
ones. Though
He
if
is.
the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
I guess we're sitting in here forever and ever and ever.
He is leaving you the choice to wait here or restart. Haha, great.
Yeah. Top story.
Stanley
was
decided to
cool.
go to the meeting room to check on his
Yeah,
co-workers.
that's pretty cool.
He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
Alright, now try a new one.
There's something going on down there. No, I'm gonna figure out what that noise is.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map,
Great.
until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary.
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of...
The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together.
Go in window with the bucket.
I'm working on it. I don't know if it'll let me. So I'm trying to. There it goes. Okay.
Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear.
We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self.
The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay.
Face with tears of joy.
Face with tears of joy.
Of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins
This
to
is
dim.
funny. He has so much character
Opportunities to do
development.
so much more.
Right.
There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
No,
Said the bucket.
not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback
Oh, that
for
was
the
the one at the
sacred
end.
amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of... No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even
The
doing
British voice actor is really putting into his food.
Right?
It revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like...
Okay.
My God, Stanley, you did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power.
What the
Otherwise,
fuck?
You would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've
I'm missing
demonstrated
so much
such
lore.
bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
Okay. Oh, what happened to all the paper? That was cool and it was all on the ground.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was
Right.
only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
Narrator
Stanley
tricked
touched
you
the
into
bucket
killing
tightly to
Bucket.
his chest and entered
Yes,
the
he
door
did.
on his left.
Okay, does this lead to the office? Yes, if I remember correctly. Alright, did the broom closet.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Try by your own means to get new ending. Bring Bing Lala. This is
The hell? So that's all that is? Just elevator music? Okay.
Taishan Tin La La Tin Tin Tin.
Okay. Oh, it's locked. But I have a way around that. Let's see if we can catch it.
Stepping in.
Wait, don't type the right number.
A little too late for that.
No, not again. Face with tears of joy. Face with tears,
Tears of joy, face of tears of joy.
Restart.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again.
A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest.
All right, now type wrong number.
Go on for it. Give me a second.
In office.
I know what you said.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. "2845.
Oh, he's got a little bit of blood on it. I just noticed that from on the bucket. Ah.
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Do I keep pressing the wrong code?
He forced you.
Okay.
Type 8888. 8888. 8888. 8888.
8.
Got it. Thank you for the trophy.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death. The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
666.
Stanley and the bucket were nervously walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Whee! Oh, it's this thing again.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and
Have you
comfort
done
had
this?
turned out to be.
I think I have,
It
just
puts
not
the
with the
mind
bucket.
and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket.
Yeah, I have.
But what
I've done
use
this
is a
thing
sense
just
of
without the
ease
bucket.
when you're about
The
to
bucket.
crush to death.
No, I
This
have
is
not.
what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley,
Okay,
cried
cool.
the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death. It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket.
Well,
It's
it's
true
the
that all
TTS
buckets are
woman.
radiant in their own way,
Right?
but this
No
one
way.
stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Wait, where is Mr. Bucket? He's got...
Character.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Wow. This chick really likes the
Look
bucket.
at the art.
Leonardo da Vinci. Alright, give me 1 second, guys. I just got a message. Alright, Bruh. I got home to 80 something messages. Separated ones, YouTube. Just. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy day. Crazy day.
What?
Indeed. I got a message I needed to reply to. It was whatchamacallit, okay. What you call it? I had a buzz, but somebody told me they had like 80 messages from something, so they wanted to know what was going. Anyway, okay, I'll explain later. Let's do this.
Has yeah.
Yeah, poor guy. He's just trying to work and make his life better. And I'm sure while he was working, his phone's just going bling 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 bling
No
bling bling
man
bling
can
bling.
own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Hmm. It is man who should kneel okay. Oop, I saw a chair. What was that about? Hmm. It won't let me in, so. The hanging bucket. Ooh. And do I need to try to jump for it? Oh.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong.
Okay.
Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander.
Don't reset.
Damn.
A new world, a new vision.
You knew I was thinking about it. You knew I was thinking about it.
Huh.
Alright. Let's... Alright.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply...
The embrace of an old friend. A weathered companionship that stands the test of time.
You got more than half now.
Of the endings? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do. We've been at this for a good while now. Alright. Now to think. What can I do that I haven't done yet? I still need to get that last figurine. Wherever it's hiding.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and
Okay,
entered
I
the door
did
on his
pretty much
left.
all the warehouse stuff. I went down, went there,
Click
killed
on old
myself.
computer.
Click on old computer? Yeah. I can't do that. Okay, we already been through the broom closet. We already did
Coming
all
to a
the
staircase,
office stuff.
Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
No, 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 no! Yeah, I've been to it already. Yeah, I want to go through that door, I think. I'm trying to remember where the elevator part is.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Now jump out of mind control.
I'm gonna jump out of mind control? Okay. How do I jump out of mind control? Let me get to that point first.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Okay, jump out of mind control. Let's see how we could do that.
Up first chair.
Oh, yeah.
But just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below. Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall. Now, what to do next, Stanley wondered. Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here.
Something right there. I saw that.
So they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so bad down here. A bit cold, perhaps. After some time had gone by, they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was...
Look around.
But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it really started to feel like a home. In fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all. He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning. It unsettled the bucket deeply. Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going back, doing it over again, staying on the path. It was a mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was unconsolable. This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending. But it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually. It's what the bucket was counting on. The two of them waited for a very long time.
Oh, here we go. Alright, let me think. What can we do now?
That's cool.
Alright. Trying to think. What ending have we not done with the bucket yet? I'm trying to get to that point where it brings you like downstairs. Oh, I remember now. I remember where I need to go. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those things. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
I think I've been through here already, but I'm not sure. We're just gonna try this again, just to be on the safe side.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Oh yeah, this is the intervention.
You see, your friends are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Brew on face with tears of joy, face with tears of
Tears
joy,
of joy, face with tears 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 of joy. Oh, okay, that was the last one. Alright, I'm in the broom closet. There's nothing going on in here. Nothing going on in here. Okay.
Go down without bucket.
Nope, go down with bucket. Okay.
Restart.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket.
Go here
but
without
Stanley
bucket.
is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed.
Damn it. I think there's
Stanley
one area
clutched the
we didn't
bucket
go
tightly
yet.
to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
There's something with that door. Must be a.
Find all figures next. You missy.
I missed? What I missed? I already went through there.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Now that's a dream ending. But I have the bucket this time.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fined for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's
Go
when
down
Stanley
without
realized,
bucket when you turn
this
right.
isn't my bucket.
Okay.
It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were
The mystery.
which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious.
Music
He
nice.
exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
Oh, God.
He had to find the
There's
bucket. He
buckets
had to return to his
everywhere.
old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real
His head.
bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
The plot
Mariella
twist.
woke up on a day
Right?
like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work,
True moral.
for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Backflipped all the way to work. I wish I could do that. Alright, no bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Well, first we gotta
Stanley
make sure all the
decided to go
computers
to the
turned
meeting
off.
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I should have made sure my computer was turned off.
Face with no tears.
Face with no tears? Oh. What the hell? That's weird. Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of two open
He
doors,
clicked
he
finally.
entered the door on his left.
I mean, we explored all options in that area and that area. Oh, you know what ending we didn't do with the bucket? The freaking main ending. Like the I ain't doing anything you telling me ending. Damn.
Now find the other computers with code input.
I'm gonna presume they're gonna be down this area, this way.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an inch.
Click on mirror.
Already restarted. Damn.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Let's go to input.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
It was okay.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Okay. Okay, let's make sure there's nothing I can touch on mine. I'm gonna go for the weird ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Same on computer.
Yeah, I saw that. Huh.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and...
Alright, I need to grab Mr. Bucket and do the wife ending, because I never did it with the bucket, I don't think.
What was all that scribble?
Yeah, I already...
brightly lit. Was it a sign
Yeah, I
of something?
think it's
He hoped it...
Whenever you start the game or whatnot, whenever it restarts, it gives you that phrase, it never ends or something like that. I
Very
think
much
that's what
that
it is.
was.
I must be missing a computer somewhere.
It says the end is never the end is never the end
The end is never the end is never the end is never.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open...
I forgot to grab the
boss
bucket.
office computer maybe.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Alright, let me make sure these are turned off. And I'll grab Mr. Bucket, we'll do the wife ending. So I don't think I did the wife ending with Mr. Bucket.
It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley checked his ego and then proceeded onward.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was
To the
firmly
end,
convinced that the
continue
bucket had
listening.
spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket.
Oh, this is
Once
new.
upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
I have not been through this. Oh, it's Mr. Bucket.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else. You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is this awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal. It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it. Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another. Oh my God, what am I saying?
Love this ending. It's the bucket's turn to manipulate you.
It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket? Oh no, I'm having feelings for the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps, if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it, or I'll...
The bucket is actually a complex character. It's like the curse of the Cthulhu.
Curse of Cthulhu? Really? Oh. Everything changed.
Stanley cradled the bucket in a gentle embrace, protective yet delicate. Assertive, Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No.
See how the bucket made you think it was capable of greater feelings even though it isn't.
Right.
Go back to the meeting room.
Go to left. Door.
Here?
No, not now. Without the bucket, go down.
Said the bucket.
Don't go to the...
Damn it. It started all over again. Damn it.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
It's one of the best endings.
Oh, wait. Yeah, it reversed. Okay. So, don't pick up bucket. But, I have to try to find computer screen. Damn.
And go right then left.
I want to go to this room. Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Or boss office for computer.
So I'm going right, then left. There is no computer at the boss's office. I remember that, but we can go that way.
Yes, there is.
No, it's cool. I'm going that way just to make sure.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
But it depends on the ending.
Okay, clicking on the mirror, nothing's happening. There's this computer, but oh. Good call. Alright.
I can't wait to tell this story to my
Let it be
co-workers.
now,
Stanley
restart.
thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had
Go
gone
right
missing.
and then left.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't
right
find
and
a
left.
trace of his
Dot
co-workers.
bucket, okay. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, there it is.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office,
Come on,
but it
press
didn't
it.
make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
So we just gotta find one more computer now. Is it gonna feed to the next computer, or do I have to reset again? I'm gonna have to reset again, but it's okay. So we're gonna go. You said go right, then left. Alright.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay.
And then down, of course.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Then left.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite
Down.
door, and got back on track.
Now.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to
I
go...
timed it.
From here, it's...
Oh, this ending. Okay.
left.
I know this ending.
Oh, no. No, it's
This
to the
is a
right. My
weird
mistake.
one.
And it's got, that one's gonna close, and he's gonna open that one, and yeah.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the
Oh, you
right?
did it.
What was I thinking?
I think
it's
I think
clearly...
so, unless it's changed.
Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute,
We are
please?
playing the Stanley Parable
Oh,
too.
never mind.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yeah,
You did the adventure line.
yes.
Yes, yes I did.
Now, this story is absolutely, definitely this way.
But let's see if it still has some line.
Restart and do input then.
Hold on.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is...
Alright. Yeah, I've been through this already. Oh. Nope.
Oh shit, it heaven.
The place I want to go to when I die? Yes.
Click all buttons. nothing to touch is heaven.
Oh, they reset.
You can't touch them. All this is just like the out of window.
Oh. Well, I know what that means. Alright. That was interesting. I have an idea. Where's the bucket?
All of his co-workers were gone.
Damn it, dark
What could it
closed.
mean?
Oh, well.
Restart,
Stanley
but
decided to
got
go to the
almost
meeting
all
room.
endings.
Perhaps he had simply...
So wait, there's gonna be no way for him to be able to bring the bucket in here, is there?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting.
No, it's good.
Perhaps he had simply...
Continue.
Stanley's bucket. The only co-worker he would ever truly need.
Okay.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Trying to think. Okay, so we went down the... Oh, I didn't go to heaven with the bucket.
This was not the correct way to the meeting
Not
room.
heaven, I mean the,
But Stanley had felt the bucket
yeah.
calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the
I
bucket.
know when you can't
don't go
click
to the
on
meeting
mirror.
room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes.
All right.
Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something
listening,
up
by
there
the way.
I need you to do.
There is still
Stanley
things
did
you
not
didn't
question
do. It
why
looks
or how
like.
this bucket was speaking
All
to
right.
him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked. No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point.
This one is the
How could you
quiz.
think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket?
Oh, okay, I remember. Okay, yeah. We did do that ending. Okay. Wait.
Wait,
The phone
go
ending
back to
is
the
back
click the
to the
bucket.
bucket. Ah! Oh, the phone ending. Okay.
How
okay,
long was
gotcha.
I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days?
Is Stanley, without the bucket, really Stanley at all? No, no, surely not.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
Don't pick up the phone.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back
Gotcha.
to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good.
This will be one of the
said the
last
bucket.
endings.
Now
because
ride the
it's
lift
almost
all
nine
the way
o'clock.
to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley
And
did not
viewership was
question
pretty
why
good
or
this
how
time,
this
so
bucket
we
was-
might be returning.
It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Then look around.
And then look around, okay. Okay.
There is something you can do. Except answering.
Okay. I tried pressing everything. I tried to see if I could pull the thing out the wall. Maybe I didn't trigger something?
Come on, there is light shining on it.
Yeah, that. I tried pulling it. It won't let me pull it. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket.
Buddy.
I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously.
Tears of joy,
Why did I
maybe?
mess up the joke?
Put like 10 of
Should I
them,
have
tears of joy?
paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so
This is
difficult.
awesome. This will
I wish I
get
were
good.
better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to...
Tears of joy.
Wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last?
Okay.
How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper.
Agree that this is cool.
If you've ever told a joke
I
or
agree.
made someone
It's-
laugh, in all
it's
likelihood,
interesting.
you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
All right, everybody. I'm Dunny with the funny.
Random that it's
I'm
funny.
Dunny with the funny.
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should
Jeez!
include the same question reprinted several times.
Yeah,
Just to
sounds about
ensure
right.
the survey taker is actually paying
This
attention
is very
and not
cool for
simply
a
filling in
game.
answers
So
at
much
random.
ingenuity.
And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at...
You want to know something funny? This is the exact stuff that they teach you in college to like get surveys from people and stuff like that. Yeah. This is some corporate jokes.
some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very
What the
existence
fuck?
and to very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be
funny.
prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth
Look how it
reign
changes, rolling
supreme.
on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing.
Rolling on the floor laughing.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Look how it ended as propaganda.
Right.
That
Okay.
was amazing.
Now I don't want to. I have to exit out because it's. You know what? Let's see what the Stanley Parable does. So we shall return next time for the stream because shit's getting weird. Anyway, everyone have a great day, and I will see y'all next Wednesday. Yeah, next Wednesday. Well, actually, see y'all Friday, but you know what I mean. I'm rambling. Okay, have a great day. Bye bye. Ah. Okay, wait. How am I supposed to? Okay,
Alright,
stop
have a
button.
great rest of the whatever.
Have a great rest of the web up later. I'll see you Friday, bro.